Alright, listen. So, this is going to be the breakup that changed my life entirely. I lost my dog, I lost my apartment, and the person that I thought I loved and loved me. And I also almost got everything taken from me because they tried to do me the worst way. So, me and this girl started dating about 4 years prior to our breakup. So, our relationship was 4 years long. Everything seemed to be going swell. When we first met, we never spent the day apart. Like, from the very first day that we met, every day after that was spent together. We would go to stores together and shop. We would go eat together. We would run errands together, doctor's appointment, dentist appointment. We did literally everything together. And we built this bond that was just inseparable. Like, it was just me and her all the time. It was one of those loves, like, kind of like Disney fairy tales, I guess you could say, where it just felt like it was you and your person versus the world. That's what it felt like. Like, we had our differences, but our differences brought us closer, is what I should say. And the things we agreed on a lot. And the hobbies, the habits that we had, we just seemed like we were meant for each other. And as this relationship went on, we didn't argue much, which now I know is kind of a red flag, but we'd only have like blow up arguments every 6 months or so, but most of the time we were good. And so it got to a point where I wanted to elevate my life. And I started a YouTube channel, and it is my other YouTube channel, not this one, that I have 30,000 subs on. I started this channel at about 1.5 years into our relationship, I would say, so about almost at the 2-year mark. And I wanted to change our life completely. I really loved her. I loved our relationship, but I just knew that we had to be in a different space and we needed to elevate, and that's what I wanted to provide for us. So I start working on this channel. I'm going hard, and I start to see some traction, and I just wanted to do this. And I told her, like, I don't want to go out anymore. I don't want to be doing all the extra things. I just want to work. I just want to work so we can be in a better place. We're young. If I sacrifice just a couple years now, we'll be perfect. Like, I know life's not perfect, but we won't be where we are now, and we'll be in a much better spot. And she said, I'm down. I'm here for you. I'm here for us. I'm down to help and do whatever we need to do. So I'm thinking that everything's fine, and as the relationship progressed, it seemed like it was. But I'm just going to fast forward to the meat. I want y'all to just get right to it so y'all can hear everything. It's about, the end of the year. It's around November. And I don't know what told me to do it, but someone was like, go through her phone. And I never do this, but I said, you know what? My intuition, my gut feeling. So I start going through it, and I felt so bad that I was like, I'm only going to go through one thing, and that's it. I went to her Snapchat. And at this point, I wasn't on any social media because I was grinding. So I deleted all social media years prior, and I was just trying to focus. So I don't really know how Snapchat works at this point. And so I see that in her recents, it's some guy. And I'm wondering, like, why is he in her recents, but he's not in her chat? Like, it's like when you take a picture and you're going to send it, it's in the recents, but it's not in her actual, like, conversations. So I'm like, that's weird. So it ate at me for a couple of days. And then I finally went to her and I said, listen, I went through your phone. I shouldn't have, but I only went through one thing, and it was Snapchat. Why is this guy in your recents? And since I don't know social media that well at this point, because I haven't been on, especially Snapchat, she goes, oh, when someone adds you, they go in their recents. But he added me forever ago. Like, and I don't even know who that is. Like, I don't use Snapchat. And I'm like, all right. Like, I just believed it because she didn't show me any, like, reason not to trust her. And also, like, bro, I'm grinding. I'm focused on what I need to be focused on. And I'm not even trying to dive deep into things like that. I'm just like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's just move on. So as time goes by, she starts getting like random text messages to her phone and stuff. And I'm like always wondering, like, who's randomly texting you and da-da-da-da. And one time somebody texted her and was like, hey, I hope you have a good night. And I was like, what? And I asked her, I'm like, what is this? Because like we were right next to each other. She was like, oh, it was some cook at work. He just asked for my number when I was leaving work, and it felt so awkward. And I was just like, oh, okay, here's my number. And I just gave it to him so it wouldn't be awkward. And that's all. And to me, I'm like, don't do that. Like, there's no reason you need to give your number out to the cook for no reason. Like, he's not going to do anything to you. Like, what, did he look like a threat or anything? She's like, no, we've worked together for a long time. And I'm like, yeah, you could have just told him no. Like, I don't know. And so she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, da-da-da. So I just kind of rubbed it off. But over the course of the months, there's always random text at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Like, what is this? So then one time a number texted her and said, yeah, I know I probably shouldn't be hitting you this late. I understand that. And I'm like, oh, so you had a conversation with this person. That's in my head, I'm thinking. You had a conversation with this person. So she comes in and she sees me that I have her phone. And I didn't go through it. It was just on the lock screen. And she didn't say anything. But she seen that I saw the text. But she didn't say anything. And then a couple days later, I said, who was that text you the other day that said that? And she was like, I've been waiting for you to ask me that because I knew you seen it. And I'm like, you knew I seen it. Why didn't you say anything? She's like, it's nothing. It's just someone from work, da-da-da-da. And I'm like, look, you can't, like, what is going on? Like, it's all types of random numbers text you, da-da-da-da. So it's nothing. It's nothing. I'm with you. I'm not, all these other people don't matter. I'm just getting random texts from people at my job and stuff, and it's nothing. Again, I'm so locked in that I just don't care. And I'm like, bro, just stop doing that. Like, stop giving your number out. Like, what are you doing? Da-da-da. Usually I would, like, break up with this person, but we've been together almost 3.5 years at this point. So I'm like giving her the benefit of the doubt because I've never seen her do anything unloyal to me. So then here comes the day. I wake up and we're talking and she says, I think I want to break up. And I'm like, what? And she does this right before I'm going to work. I'm like, what? Like, no, like, what we been good. What do we need to break up for? Da, 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 da. And she's like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. And I've been talking to my friends. And I'm like, yo, your friends are all single. They all cheat on their boyfriends. Red flag. Don't. I said, just think about it. When I get home from work, we could talk more. Da, da, da. Bro, I kid you not. I'm at work. I'm at work. I get a call from AT&T. And they say, hey, we just want to verify that the person that was removing their number, it's verified, like, because you're the owner of the contracts. I said, what do you mean? They said the other line is trying to remove, like, themselves from the account. Will you, like, allow it or not? I'm like, I'll call you guys back. So I called my girlfriend at the time. I'm like, what are you doing? You're removing your number? Like, what's up? She's like, yeah, I'm just done. I can't do this anymore. I don't want to be together. Can you just tell him to remove my number? I'm like, I'll do it when I get home when we talk. She's like, whatever. Da, 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 da. So I'm like, oh, she really she really serious and like out of nowhere too. So I get home and she's like, I'm just done. Tell him to remove my number. Gosh. I'm like, what? Like, why are you so cold? Like, what I didn't even do anything. She's like, I'm just done. Where are you going to sleep at? I'm like, I pay for this apartment. I pay for everything. You need to get out. She's like, I'm not leaving. There's no one for me to go yet. So I'm not leaving. Either you sleep on the couch or I sleep on the couch. One of us sleeps in the room. And I'm like, I can't even think about this. I just got off work and I got to start working again. And let me mind y'all, she's in gym attire, right? So I'm standing in the kitchen and she's standing at the front door. And I said, where are you going? Like, she's like, I'm going to the gym. I said, the apartment gym? Like, where are you going? She said, no. I'm going to a different gym with somebody. Ha 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 ha. I said, what the fuck? What type of laugh? She laughed like that with her head tilted back and everything. I couldn't believe it, y'all. I couldn't believe it. And so she leaves, slams the door. Then I see her car is still there. So not only is she going to the gym with somebody else, she's cheating. So she's going with another guy. She gave him the address to our place to pick her up. Violation. If you're going to cheat, whatever. We're done. But to give another man the address to where I lay my head, where I rest, is a violation. So I'm pissed. I'm hot. I end up moving my stuff out because I said I'm not living with her. I have to move out for now, to figure out how to remove her off the lease of the apartments and then go about my way. So I call my apartments and they're like, oh, we can't remove her. Even though you're the owner of the lease, we'd have to go through an eviction process and that takes a while. I'm like, what? I'm like, she's cheating on me and she needs to leave. How can I get her out? Well, the eviction process, and it's going to be hard to evict her because she's on the lease with you, even though you're the sole owner of it. Da, 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 da. Just give me the runaround. So I'm like, you know what? Whatever. Like, whatever. I'm just going to move my stuff back in and it is what it is. So I need a lot of my stuff because I wasn't going to move back in for a week or two when I had it situated with her, what we were going to do. And, so then one night, this night changed my life forever. My brother comes to drive me because something happened to my car. So my brother drives me from where I was staying for a second all the way to my apartment. I had the Mouseketeil on me. Y'all know what the Mouseketeil is. It's that thing that go bang, bang, right? Always have it on me for protection, right? So I pull up there to get some of my stuff at like 11 p.m., right? It's my apartment. So I go to unlock the door, double locks. So I'm knocking on the door. Let me in my apartment, you know? She unlocks the door and it's like, you can't come in here. I'm like, this is my apartment. Like, all my stuff is in here. I pay for everything. I can come in my apartment. So I come in. So what do you want? Why are you here so late? I just don't get it. She's just being an ugly person. I'm like, I need some important documents. Like, I need some stuff to take with me until I come back next week or so. Like, I need some stuff. She's just screaming at me. And I'm like, move out the way. I'm going to the room to get my stuff. She runs to get in front of me and says, you don't want to go in there. Don't go in there. I said, what do you mean? Don't go in there. Just don't. I said, move out the way. I go in there. In my room, my bed, there's another guy laying there. He pops up quick. And I said, who the fuck is this? Who's in my bed? Who's in my room? Who's using my dresser? Who's using my charger? What? I'm hot. And I told him, I said, you need to leave. Like, while me and her talk, you need to leave. And he just doesn't say anything. And he stands up. And I'm like, who are you bucking at? You trying to like, what you want to do? You know, I'm mad. And I'm like, bro, just leave. I ain't even tripping. You just need to leave and get out my crib while me and her talk and figure things out. You need to leave. And he just stays with his head down and he wouldn't look me in the eye. And he's standing in the corner and he just with his head down. So then I'm so mad. All I seen was red because he's not listening. And then I said, can you not hear me or what? And she's like, can you please just stop? Can you please just stop? And I said, hello, do you hear me? And he goes, I'm not leaving. I tell y'all, this is when my life changed. I pulled out my gun and I was about to shoot him. And when I pulled it out, it was on my side holster. I pulled it out and I kind of had the gun next to my thigh. And I said, what did you just say to me? And then instantly I thought about my brother. My brother drove me here. My brother has kids, a wife, a whole family. If I would have done something, my brother could have potentially been in trouble for driving me here to do something. Even if I said no, he did, it still could have potentially. My brother doesn't even know, but he stopped me from committing a murder. He stopped me from crashing out and lashing out. I put the gun back in my holster and I said, y'all got it. Y'all got it. You're living in another man's house. How does that feel about you? This bed, this couch, this dresser, this desk, this TV, these clothes, these mattresses, everything in here is me. I bought everything. You're a bum. And to the girl, I just said, you're a worthless piece of shit. This hurt me. The very next day, I came back through to the apartment. They was at work because they worked together. I got cheated on by someone who worked together. I came through and I hired movers to throw away literally everything in the apartment. I threw away everything. But one thing was missing when I went back. When I went back, I didn't hear the barks of my dog. I didn't hear my dog at all. She took my dog and hid it. Probably at this guy's house because he stayed with his mom is what I learned. So probably took my dog and hid it at his mother's house. And stole my dog from me. I raised that dog from me as a baby. They found him on the street and we took him to Petco and Petco got him all his shots and everything. And I raised him. We were very close. So after I moved everything out, she ended up pulling up right while everything was missing. And she said, what? Now I have to come home to nothing? And when I invite him back over, there's going to be nothing here? Why would you do that? I said, this was my apartment. I can do anything I want. But you can have the apartment now. I took my name off the lease and made them move it into your name. Never kicked you out. But now it's yours. Hope you're happy. And so then she starts to scratch her face, punch her face. And she starts bleeding. And she says, if you don't leave right now, I'm going to call the cops. And she dialed 911. And she said, If you don't send me money to fix this apartment and get everything back furnished, I'm going to dial 911 completely. And guess what? Who are they going to believe? Me or you? Because you're black and I'm white. And at that moment, I see my life flash before my eyes. The YouTube channel I had been building, all the money I had been saving and investing. I see my life flash before my eyes simply for me just standing in my apartment. Because someone got catered towards their whole life. And then they wanted to end mine because now life is hit. Reality is hit that people don't just do things for you, especially when you do something bad to them. I just told her, listen, I always loved you. I didn't mean any harm, but you did the harm. I'm leaving. And I slowly backed away while she's bleeding from her face and her neck, hoping that she doesn't call 911. I leave, and that's the end of it. I never saw my dog again. I loved this person deeply, and within a week span, I had to move on with my heart and my head. I was blindsided, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us have went through this, where you love somebody and then the very next day they don't love you. This broke me into pieces. I woke up for weeks screaming into my pillow, crying tears. Anytime there was a moment of silence, I was crying. I spent months going to the bars every single weekend, drinking. I was drunk every weekend from Friday all the way into Sunday. Monday to Friday, I cried myself to sleep. I cried myself to wake up. I battled this pain for about 6 to 7 months because it felt so crazy. Because I built my life and future with this person in my mind. And not only did it hurt losing a person, but what really hurt is betrayal. I understand that we will move on and relationships and breakups will happen. So I never have a problem with that. But when you're betrayed, when your loyalty is just shattered like that, that's what hurts the most. And then for you to steal man's best friend, stole my dog, it hurts because I know my dog isn't dead. He's just gone somewhere else. And he probably wondering where I am. Where's his, I guess, dad, right? Where am I at? It's not that I gave up on you. It's that you were stolen from me. And now you're living a life with a new family, I guess, that I'll never see you again. Since this, I have gotten a new girlfriend and I healed. I moved on. But when I talk about these subjects, I'm able to get emotional. I'm able to get really in touch with it because I can go back to that time. But I have healed. I have moved on. I have found peace in myself. But this was the relationship that broke me completely. And I had to build myself up alone. I didn't have any friends. It hurt me. And it changed the way I look at everything in life. What's happened with you guys? Have you guys had terrible breakups? And if you have, drop your story time below. I would love to read your stories about breakups and how you got through it. And if you're in a new relationship now, tell me what's great about it. This is a channel where we can be vulnerable. We don't have to act and be cool and think we're the best person. None of that. I hate those type of channels. I want to be vulnerable and raw and build a real community here. It should, wow. It's your boy Lone Man. I'm going to talk to y'all later.